Hi, welcome to Max's Mad Mythic Mercenaries, presented by Arbitrary Hero. I am your Dungeon Master, Cameron. And today I'm running a game of Waterdeepdragonheist for my friends. If I seem a little off-center, it's because it has been a freaking minute. Say hello, friends.
Hello, friends.
Hope everyone's doing great. We've essentially taken a summer break, which has been lovely. In-game, nothing has happened. Everyone's just slept one day. All our characters are level 8, except Alu, who gained an extra level in Cleric last time because she used the breaking the code of time itself to push her religion and evangelize. And that's got to be rewarded. Our question of the day is just going to be, if your character did go on a summer break, what would they have done? What would your character have done back in like grade school when they went on summer break? Let's start out
like childhood summer break.
The defender of his group being thrown for a furry loop. The fighting wolf man. It's our master of battle, Rolan.
Oh, we got new updated intros.
We got new intros, and I forgot I did that. So when I looked at my script, I was like, "Oh God, I don't remember this." Yeah.
Is that what your exclamation of exuberance was right before we started?
Yes,
guys. The DM got super jazzed about something and then just cut short and didn't say anything, and we got real anxious.
Like what?
Yeah. Anyway,
that was cool.
What I did on my summer vacation, or what would Roland do? I think Roland would take a page out of my current life book and would probably hit up some really good hiking spots, some good. Would they have national parks, or is there just it's mostly wilderness between cities anyway? So it's all.
There's not really a nation to have national parks. It's all individual city-states.
City-states.
The closest thing would be like El Terrell would have national parks.
Yeah, they would.
Or Elter Guard is the country. Elter Guard would have national parks.
So I think, he'd probably go find some scenic spots, and then maybe also go to the city fair and have some funnel cake and watch the pony pull, in the fairgrounds, and just fun stuff like that.
Yeah, because if we think back, Roland actually had like a pretty good childhood. He had a mom that worked, but was still like pretty attentive.
He moved around a lot, but so he and his sister would probably cool, mom's at the office, or at least probably working security for the big event anyway, so let's go to the event, or let's get out of here if it's something we're not interested in and go hiking.
I love it.
Do it again. I like this.
She started a brand new church, and her baby god she will not allow you to besmirch. Her psychic blades will protect you. It's the dark angelic rogue Alu.
I love it. That's awesome. So I think when Alu was a kid for summer vacation, they probably didn't go somewhere to do specific things, but because her parents were merchants, I think that she got to go on a lot of trips to faraway places and get immersed in other cities and other cultures, just as a part of their natural lifestyle when she wasn't, being tutored or whatever, they would do in this world. I think that's what she did.
I dig it. I dig it. Very middle class, yeah. The clever trap maker of his new home, Waterdeep's favorite little inventing gnome. He'll save the day with what's in his pocket. The future magical artificer, Sprocket.
Love it.
Love it.
10 out of 10. Well done.
Nice.
Well done.
It was all ChatGPT. Don't give him credit.
Chat D indeed.
Yeah. Sprocket, I think we've also long established that you have a very good, healthy relationship with your family. So what were you guys doing on summer vacation time?
I think it was summer camp. He went to space camp.
Oh,
he
love
went
it.
A cool little adventure retreat.
Spelljammer
NASA
camp?
Scientists came. Yeah. A little Spelljammer camp where Ganassi come from the sky and this is how a space engine works.
Mechanic
camp.
camp.
Just ate it up.
Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Playing with Lego.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. 100%.
Once I was a man named Wilhelm Swingpike, but he's no longer a player character, so I didn't bother doing a rhyme for him.
Darn.
Blowing up
I expected
trees
that to rhyme.
and buildings like a dragon, broke but still carrying more cash than an armored wagon. To defy her magic would be folly, the future-sighted wizardress, Holly. Holly
Good job.
Reeves go
I love
delicately.
it.
You had some money to throw around for summer vacation stuff.
Yeah.
Disney World every summer.
Yeah.
No, actually, so Holly and her mom would travel together. So they took a little break from the heat in Waterdeep and went to oh my God, what is the name of it? The Neverwinter.
Oh, yeah.
They went to Neverwinter and did a little like luxurious resort.
Watch like
In
the Gladiator
Neverwinter.
games, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
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 I dig it.
I feel like if they went out to like the wilderness, they would go camping in the RV from Goofy movie.
Well, it
The
would
huge
be,
thing's got a bowling alley on
they
the
would
roof.
bring their pocket
Oh, yeah.
dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's camping, but it's just a portal that leads back to their mansion.
Yeah, it's magic. It's magic camping. Yeah.
Right.
Lehman's tiny camper.
I love
Oh,
it. He
Like
loves
it.
to swing his magical sword. With his wife's killer, he'd like to have a ward. Mistaken for a drow now and then, it's the ranging wood elf, Fen. Fen, your life up until now has essentially been a summer vacation, right? You didn't really do formal schooling and stuff.
No, I mean, basically, look, it's Coachella. It's
it's
Burning Man.
good show.
It's the festival circuit. It's Bonnaroo, Lollapalooza, shit like that. That's what I've been doing. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Our current campaign
Excellent.
is Waterdeep Dragonheist, set in the City of Splendor. Last time we played, we got the infinite, what do we call it? The Ring of the Weave. We got the third of 4 mysterious objects linked to the Dragon Vault. It is now Elliot the 29th, almost the end of the month. And you all time traveled. You have long rested. It is the next day. The new issue of the Watery Wazoo is out. We are coming into the North Ward, where our party is waking up in Troll Skull Manor. What all are you wanting to do today? Can everyone roll me some initiative just to confirm that everything's all linked up and everything? And that'll be the order we wake up this morning. Yay, it worked!
I didn't even look at that.
Voice.
Holly Reeves, Hannah, you went ahead and started talking because you knew for a fact you were going to roll the highest initiative anyway, and I so rudely interrupted you.
Yeah.
What was Holly Reeves? You're waking up. It's a new day. It feels like it's been centuries. Your rooms are a little smaller. There's like if you touch the door, that northern door to your room, you feel the heat from Ollie Kezaratharak's fierce flight the third. Albie is hanging out. Remember Albie, the little
Yeah.
Gazer.
Who's
albino
this,
gazer?
Who's this Kobe person up in the den with Ollie?
If you well, maybe you don't remember, at Blue Alley, there were some dragons and there were some kobolds guarding them. You killed
remember.
almost all of them except one surrendered, and Alu let him go. And
Okay.
he wandered in here looking for work. And since kobolds love dragons, he's now like Ollie's bodyguard.
Kobe
Yeah.
the Kobold.
Okay, that's fine.
We are building
I
a
couldn't remember,
dungeon.
so good to know. Good to know.
Speaking of, I
Please
think.
take him.
Well, let me ask you, Hannah. You want to start out with something super fun, or you want to set your agenda first?
Can I set my agenda and then do super fun? Because I'm worried that you're gonna screw me over with super fun.
Super fun for who?
Wise decision.
You wake up, you take your shower, do all that stuff, and then what are you doing?
Yeah, so when Holly Reese is in the shower and she's like thinking and reminiscing and kind of going through previous encounters that we've had, she suddenly remembers about a note that we found in the Ground Hool Villa massacre from some person named Karada.
Ciabatta bread.
You actually you've never met that person, so you can pronounce it however you want because you never heard their name said out loud. You just found this note.
Okay. Holly Reese is gonna do it as like phonetically. So for Holly Reese, it's gonna be Chai Rada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yada.
And I guess for the audience's purposes, you should know it's actually pronounced Kairata, and it's super offensive. She's a minority demographic. It's super fucked up that Hollywood do this, but they're the rich, so keep going.
It's not because she's a rich, because she can't pronounce the name that she doesn't know.
It's all very white of her.
Mhm.
That, that happens.
Anyway, and she remembers the note, and it said that this person was certain that the second eye had been carried from the warehouse in the dock ward to Yellowspire in the castle ward, but that it's no longer in Yellowspire. So it might they thought the Zentarum were using a teleportal within the tower.
Give me a history check.
Okay.
14's pretty good, and this is recent history. You're thinking about the link between the Zentarum and the warehouse. You remember, your mind goes back to when the five of you minus Sprocket, it was Wilhelm at the time, you were chasing down Reiner Neverember's kidnappers.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to a warehouse, and there were a bunch of Zentarum that had been slaughtered by Kenku.
That's right.
Mhm.
So if this is linking the Zentarum to the warehouse, you think that at some point they had an eye from somewhere, you're not sure where, but you might be able to link things together that this is Neverember's enigma and Reiner was kidnapped, kind of maybe putting those two together. Holly's a very smart woman. So, and you've got a fucking +8 to your history. That's nuts. Yeah, so you can kind of link those things together. Feel pretty confident about that.
Yep. So she'll then kind of race out of the shower, throw on her pretty silk robe, and go down into the main level to try to reiterate all of that information to the group.
Yes. So, while you're rushing out, you go past Ollie's room, and if you were like doing stuff, time traveling stuff, something happened while you were gone. You didn't really notice it last night, but Ollie, being a blue dragon, they are very smart, and he recognized how vulnerable a wormling is in Waterdeep, the city.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Give me an intelligence saving throw.
Oh no.
That's pretty good. You step into this room, and you see that Ollie has grown much bigger.
Oh.
He's a young dragon now.
Let's see. What's he look like here?
I think a wormling is 10 years.
Oh,
my god!
he evolved.
And you see Perdita, the little ghost girl, has been hanging out here.
Okay. So Holly Reed says good morning to all of them, and she mentions to Ollie that, wow, you're growing pretty quickly.
You're buffing up real quick.
He flexes. It looks like he's not like 100% there.
Yeah.
But he's like resting and recovering. Kobe's cooking up some steaks.
Yeah.
And he says, I found it necessary to accelerate my aging. And Holly Reeves, with your intelligence save, you remember a particular ability that ghosts have is they can touch someone and they can age them. Normally it's a very painful process. It looks like Ollie has taken it upon himself to purposefully be aged so that he could grow at an accelerated rate.
Oh, that is dope.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
But yeah, so he is now a large creature. He is
Got it.
much
So
bigger.
He needs more space.
He
So-
actually says, if you're like conversing with him, he says, I think the smart thing right now is to continue to lay low for a time. This process has taken a lot out of me. My original intention and my calculations were to age myself much, much more, hundreds of years. But I don't think I could bear it. I think that stress would on my body would kill me. So at the moment, my hoard is sufficient as is. I have machinations in place that I will see that they are completed first before I move my lair.
That is
He's
a wise
scheming.
decision.
I have a feeling this is gonna come back to haunt us. He's gonna try and steal Neverember's Enigma.
No bad ideas. He doesn't know about it.
Don't be don't be in a rush to grow up. You have your whole life ahead of you.
Yeah, they grow up so fast.
You grow up so fast.
Double in size.
Yeah, so he's still physically like weak and worn out by this ordeal, so Kobe's taking care of him.
Would it
Holly's,
be
yeah,
would it be insulting to him? Like, could Holly Reese ask him, could I walk over to give you a little scratch under your chin and a kiss on your head, or would that insult you?
give me an insight check. With advantage. He's your baby boy.
Your big baby boy.
100% you think it's cool. There's nothing a teenager wants more than public affection from their parent in front of their minions.
All right, Holly Reese looks at Kobe and she thinks better of it, so she won't do it.
No, you think it's good. It's a good idea.
I don't know.
No, this is. She wants to
bad
know
idea.
if it is a good idea, not if she thinks it's a good idea. You're
Yeah,
telling her she
Holly
thinks it's a
Reese-
good idea.
Holly Reese will be like, okay, I'll check on you later.
You want some pizza pockets
Yeah.
later?
We need more hot pockets.
Yeah. she's
Ma, the
like-
meatloaf!
The meatloaf.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you see, like, you remember
Hey,
that
like-
Wilhelm has been visiting, right? Wilhelm's kind of been tutoring, like, Perdita, the were-rats, educating them. And you see on one board is a map of Waterdeep, and it's broken up into its voting districts. And it looks like, if you want, you can give me an investigation check as you're looking at this map, if you're trying to get an idea of what Ollie's looking at doing. Oh, that's nice. He seems to be, so if you remember, Waterdeep's government is essentially an oligarchy.
Yeah.
There's a large voting body of masked lords, and you become a masked lord. Like, the public can still vote on certain initiatives, but you become a masked lord just by inheriting it or taking it from someone or being granted it. You don't really get elected to be a masked lord. With a 21, you can tell, like, dragons want things and they are greedy and all that stuff, but blue dragons are pretty intelligent. Like, not pretty intelligent, they are supremely intelligent. And it seems like Ollie's plans involve some sort of long game of one day becoming a masked lord of the city, not necessarily like burning it to the ground or anything like that. He's like, you see there's a little like pin with a like a generic like human face on it, that you can tell kind of would be like Ollie's features if he was polymorphed human. And it's like, Ollie, a name you can trust. Taking a bite out of crime.
Oh my god. Okay, so
I go
Holly
Illinois,
Reese is-
60652.
she's gonna- Yeah, Holly Reese is gonna like file that away in the back of her head for later, and like make a little gift to give to Ollie to help him feel better, of like a small, I don't know what the masks fully look like, but present him with like a small little mask as like a good luck, I believe in you. You got this.
I dig it.
You're my special boy, and you can be whatever you want to be.
Oh, stop. You're embarrassing me. Stop. Yeah, so you, like, Perdita sinks through the floor. She's, like, going off, giggling, ghostly giggle. You step through the door of Ollie's lair, and Spev, that is, like, probably your wake-up call, because you have that door frame rigged to let you know if someone's ever entering or leaving the lair. Next in the initiative, I believe, is Rolan. Rolan, what are you up to as Holly Reese heads downstairs?
Okay. So Roland will get up. He's going to do his morning calisthenics, squats, push-ups, some ab work, and then he's going to go downstairs, and then he's probably going to meet Reggie in the kitchen to get breakfast going for everybody.
Oh, our Reggie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
you go to the kitchen, and you would notice you're helping Reggie with everything, but you notice that two of the halflings, Kelso and Danica Fiddlewick, their brother and sister, they didn't seem to. They're not at work today.
Oh, okay. I'll ask Bryn and Snow Beetle. What's with the no call, no show?
He said, actually, boss, they let me know. They've just got some personal family stuff they got to take care of in the field ward today.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I mean, are you guys good to hold down the fort until they're back?
He said, yeah. We're actually some of those fair folk across the way are gonna come in and cover a shift. Some dude named Nico seems really upset that he can't buy things with leaves in this city, so he's looking to earn some gold.
Okay, all right. Did you check their references?
He says, I mean, they seem to be cool with you, so
yeah, good enough.
Yeah.
All right, and then I guess I'll want to double check that preparations for the basement activity coming up soon are still progressing nicely.
Yes. So you had requested silver chains and locks. Let's see what was on your shopping list. Yes, silver chain and locks were bought. It is the 29th. You got 250 gold pieces of silver bars to bar up like the sewer entrance. So those they're arriving today, and Dasher says, "Yeah, we'll install them as soon as they arrive. No worries."
All right, man. Then yeah, I think I'll just get some bacon and eggs going. I'll have Reggie start flipping some pancakes, and we'll get morning service started.
Yeah.
Yes, chef.
Give me. Let's do a. Are you proficient in cooking utensils?
No, this is just something he decided he's going to do.
Give me. Let's make it a check. Let's say. Well, let's make it an athletics check. How quickly can you? How high can you flip a pancake? Everyone knows that is what matters.
21.
Yeah, with the 21, you're rocking it. Reggie, you know what, Fen? This is a good. We're testing some mechanical stuff. Can you have Reggie roll me a dexterity check?
Yes. Do I need to select him? Well, who cares?
I don't think you only need to select when it's an initiative roll. Everything else you can just do from the sheet.
Okay. Dexterity check. I believe I can do this. Give it a roll.
So, Reggie is like doing pretty good. Here's the thing: he's like beginning to shed, and just there's maybe
molting. Yeah.
Some of those long giant tarantula hairs are just getting in the eggs.
Oh my god!
But you know, no worries. You can pick those out, no problem. All right,
they're big enough.
Next up is going to be Fen. Oh no, Alu. Alu, you get up. You've been sleeping
And rolled
with.
worse than I did. How did that happen?
Well, you rolled the same thing. You just have a higher dexterity modifier.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
So Nika's been like sleeping over at your place. If you remember, she's the barbarian elf from the court of the Meadowedge. She's got her brother Nico. She's been crashing with you all while they've been crashing next door at Froon's Brews.
To stay
Nika,
close to our unicorn.
yeah. Um, how's that been going? Her as a bunk mate.
Little roommate. I mean, Ollie's barely there, and she likes her little turret tower anyway, so I think it's been going fine.
Cool. Yeah. So what's Alu doing when she gets up?
Ollie's, giving her little Marmaduke a little extra love and cuddles and pets and all his most favoritist mice.
Awesome. Yeah.
She's, giving him some love. She's making her plans. She wants to make sure that she's figuring out what's going on with Davil and secure his release. The division
Oh
in
yes.
the Zentarum is, obviously of concern to her, and she is fairly committed to making sure that Davil's side wins that little civil war.
Yeah, especially it's. I guess you're gonna find out in character in a little bit, but with Holly Rees finding the note about the Zentarum, you might be invested in investigating that a little further for sure.
Yep, and so she'd probably send a note to Yagra. I know that I in the previous episode at one point I had mentioned that Ollie would make sure that he had a good lawyer. And basically we're playing the card you've got nothing to hold me on.
Yeah.
I'm totally innocent.
Yes, I think all that has happened. You'll probably want to go check in and confirm what the results were. But yeah, I think we've established that you set you hired someone and you took care of that stuff already.
Had it all in motion. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she wants to follow up on that. And then what's the other thing that I wanted to do? I think that given that I've got my cleric as well, she would be doing some shrine visits, reaching out to the people, as they say, and checking in with her mentor, whose name I'm blanking on at the moment, in the C ward.
Oh crap, Serenity? No.
No, it's a tiefling. I have to find it.
Yes.
Mantra?
Mantra. I knew it was yeah. So I think, and maybe this is bittersweet for Alu, I think in your changing of the timeline, your relationship with Mantra is a little different. Butterfly effect kind of thing. They died. No, I'm kidding. But you are, because of your position in this church that you've grown, you've essentially, right, you've been able to, if you've wanted to, from the beginning, establish your position in the future or the present back in the past. So now, I mean, Mantra can be your mentor in certain things, but in terms of your religious education, Mantra is almost the mentee at this point.
We might still have that, I guess mentor-mentee would be less of a relationship, but I feel like this is a person, in the past, in the future, that Ollie would still see as, a father figure, someone who's got a vested interest in her, and so she has a vested interest in them, and that relationship is important to her. So whether he's teaching her something or she's teaching him something, this is just someone that she takes, that's family to her.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Still touch base.
Yeah, we'll definitely. So checking on Davil and then checking in on Mantra and the Cult of Aeodon. Awesome.
Yep. And she would check on her were rats too.
Yes. Which they are, if you're checking in, the ones that are in the tavern, you would learn the same thing that Rolan has learned, which is that two of them aren't here today. They're off doing errands in the field ward.
So she'd probably push a little bit more for a little bit more details. Like, is there something that we can do to help? What do they need?
Give me, we'll call it an insight check as you're talking with Dasher about it.
Okay, let's see. Where are you, my insight? There you are.
With the 21, like, speaking with Dasher and stuff, you can tell that he seems a little uncomfortable. He's definitely keeping something back as he's, like, making excuses for his friends.
All right. Yeah, given that, she can tell there's something going on, she would probably reach out to her little sparrow network to be like, find out what's going on. I want to know what's up. Make sure that everything's okay and let me know so I can intervene on their behalf or, whip some ass if necessary.
Absolutely. Awesome. Then we go to Fen. Fen, what are you doing this fine morning?
All right, so Finn ambles downstairs. He's gonna belly up to the bar a little bit because he's a little worn out from Coachella. So he's gonna get himself like a latte, sort of like a little pick me up. He's noticing here that Reggie's looking a little mangy.
Yeah.
Struggling a little bit. So he tells Reggie, "Look, man, this is a professional establishment that we're trying to run here, bro. Like, I get that you got like a personal hygiene thing going on. So
I'm gonna need you to wear a hairnet.
Well, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go like take care of your shit in a more discreet place. So specifically, there's a good spot like right up here in this little common room, right outside of this room up here. It's probably a good place to do your molting, to hang out in front of this room right up here, which, yeah, right there, and like leave all your like personal detritus up there, maybe in front of that door. Be a good place to do that.
He'll
You
kind
want
of
to maybe give him a brushing, considering he's your spider?
No, I
with
think
his
he can take care of it. I just want him to keep it in a more discreet place in front of, maybe Holly's room would be a good place to.
with his 8
leave that.
appendages, he gives you a rolling set of 4 shrugs and then ambles off to that room.
Good deal. Good deal. All right, so it's more discreet now. So now that I got my latte made by Roland's adept hands, feeling pretty good about myself. I'm gonna go sit at this little table and like sharpen my sword.
Yeah, I'll
Done that.
I'll
forever.
put the shape of a sword in his cream.
Yeah, yeah.
Cute.
And I give you a little extra tip. on the
Yeah,
side for that.
yeah. What's up? What's up?
Doing a
So,
lot of good this morning. Taking care of my crew.
and then Spev, who was probably working late last night tinkering, you finally get up when the alarm goes off that someone has left Ollie's room, Ollie's lair. What are you up to?
Yeah, I think it takes a couple alerts and alarms of chimes of people coming down the stairs before he finally wakes up. Like, we zoom in on Sprocket, who's just sprawled over the bed, eyes wide open, just staring at his workshop, which is covered in pages and tinkered bits and like mechanics and just like half-finished projects that he just sort of whipped up in a fervor last night, and he just sort of is surveying the landscape of it. So yeah, he picks himself out of bed and he's gonna start walking downstairs, but as he like heads out, he can kind of look at Silgar and kind of sigh and grab Silgar and head down the steps. And I'll head down to the tavern and look around and see if Flutterfoot's there. If not, I would like to try to find him.
Sure. You head down. So looking once like everyone's down here, the people at the tavern, one is the 3 street urchins, Nat, Jenks, and Squidly. They're hanging out. Wilhelm is up and kind of helping them learn their letters and all that stuff. Mert is like sitting there kind of trying to be casual, but you can tell that every time someone comes in the room, he's like trying to get your attention, like the way you do a waiter when you're trying not to like be obnoxious about it. But it's like and then Perdita and Suri are down here. Suri's having breakfast. Perdita's kind of floating around and stuff. You don't see Flutterfoot. What you do know is Flutterfoot and his family are hunkered down. You would need to go to Alu's church contacts because they are helping Flutterfoot. They're essentially trying to smuggle him and his family out of the city. They haven't done it yet. It's only been like a little while since they started, but they're trying to securely get Flutterfoot and his family out of the city to avoid any like wrath of Xanathar or anything.
Yeah, didn't I see him like last night staying at that abandoned building across the street that Wilhelm's kind of watching for the night?
They are squatting with the rest of the court of the Meadowed. The hearing like the kind of danger that they're in. The court of the Meadowed, they're kind of like obnoxious fey adventurers, but they're still like trying to do the right thing. So when they hear that there's an opportunity to like help someone out, they're kind of like bodyguarding right now.
Cool. Yeah, I approach Al and be like, well, do you want to go talk to your friends across the street? I have a one quick request of Flutterfoot before he skips town. I kind of gesture towards Silgar.
I would be like, oh, yeah, maybe we should take that and get out of here.
Yeah. I kind of feel bad. He probably misses his fish.
I think that the fish might be a little bit better off without a murderous psychopath in his vicinity.
Yeah, so we'll say while everyone's having breakfast, Alu and Spev, you're basically just going across the street in Troll. Oh, actually, we haven't used the alley map in a minute. Let's go to that map. It's been so long. All right, I think that is everything. So. Yeah, you're basically just going across the street. I mean, they're hunkered down pretty good. Ancient Blue Dragon. Nope. All right.
As we go, we'd probably have grabbed some like vegetarian type food. Whatever you eat.
Some of the food from the tavern over.
You'd probably grab some stuff, and you might want to. I mean, it's in a state of disrepair. They're like hunkered down in the basement where things have been fixed up a little bit. To protect them. But do you want to bring over, like, do you want to disguise your visit, or are you just kind of walking across the street in the morning?
Disguising.
I wasn't going to walk across the street in my bathrobe.
Alu wouldn't let you do that. Alu's aware of Sprocket's tendency to talk too much and be a little too obvious.
I rolled a crit fail on my wake up check, so I think I'm not.
Yeah, you're still.
Like, I'm walking out the door. You just take like a tablecloth and throw it over me. I just sort of grumble my way across the street.
Yeah, give me. We'll say, both of you can give me either a stealth check or a performance check to like make it a casual walk across. And yeah, Sprocket, you're not super aware, but Alu can help you out. Like, she's aware enough for the both of you, so you can still make whatever check you want to make.
All right.
My stealth is a 22.
Yeah, you're pretty good.
I think it's just I can never remember what works with my stealth. Normal roll. Hey, look at that. 1s and 20s today.
Brilliant. Yeah. Both of you like, and this isn't representing you like sneaking over because that would look suspicious. Yeah. This represents you two like casually, like no one's paying attention to you. You're like having a conversation. You've got like, you remember to grab like a toolkit and some boards, and you're just doing like the neighborly thing of helping like fix up this shop. And everyone knows that you want to buy Froon's Brews eventually. Yeah. So yeah, you get over and you head in.
I'm gonna buy Froon's Brews and change the name to X.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Too soon.
You run it into the ground.
I just changed my phone this morning. It now has the X logo.
I'm so mad. I should have set up so it doesn't auto update. It looks so dumb. It's so dumb. Anyway, yes. So
Elon just stopped watching our podcast.
Oh no.
Yeah. So yeah, you come over there and you see the family.
A number of children.
Yeah, a number of kids. They're hunkered down. They're actually like the kids seem to be in pretty good spirits. It's one of those things where like the parents know something is wrong, but they're trying to gamify everything to keep the kids distracted. Like Ursuline, Ursuline the bear, Claria the centaur, Dapple the Eladrin, or maybe she's an elf, Nico the elf, and Jonlin the pixie are hanging out. The kids are having a lot of fun. Like Ursuline is taking like a big like bear nap, but the kids are having a lot of fun jumping from like furniture onto her belly. She doesn't seem to mind. She's like she's a good bear.
Bear.
Yeah. But yeah, Flutterfoot and his wife, they seem to be hiding out. They seem to be the ones that are carrying all the stress. And seeing you all enter, you give like the password. They come in safely. Flutterfoot says, "Do you have news? Are we getting out of here?"
I believe you're going to be getting out of town very soon, but I just have one bit of a request for you. Do you recognize this thing? And I show him Silgar.
You don't need to make an insight check, and a look of abject terror and horror comes across this man's face.
I thought so.
His mouth works silently for a little while. His wife has a panic look. He's weaving on his feet. She helps steady him and takes him to a chair. He says, "What the fuck are you doing with that?"
I was in Xanathar's room. I think it was Xanathar. There's a big floating guy with a lot of heads and little big eyes. And it just looked, looked important, so I grabbed it and
I think
scooted.
my left arm hurts. And does anyone smell toast?
He's stroking a heart attack at the same time.
He's struggling. He's like, "Why would you take the fish? Why would you take Silgar?"
It looked. There were very few things. I also took the giant fish bowl and a chest inside of it, but that's not. I feel kind of bad about this one. You know, I would hate to be separated from one of my robots, so I think maybe we could return it for perhaps a price.
Martha.
You lost all the color in your face. You're pale. You're pale. Oh.
You
start feeding him with spindle.
Is that the fishbowl he came in? Did you take the fishbowl with the fish?
Oh no, I took them both. The other one is not here.
He's panicking. He's like starts getting up and kind of wheezing and trying to pace back and forth. He says, "Okay, you didn't know. I mean, this is terrible. We're all gonna die. We really need to get my kids out of here. We're all gonna die. Okay, from the beginning, we met. He doesn't know we met. We're all gonna die."
Sure
and he's just like
together.
He's like trying to communicate, but he is like in a state of panic at this point.
Oh yeah. He's full on panic attack mode at this point.
Yeah, I think you can recognize that like he clearly knows things, and it's not like he's trying to keep anything from you, but you might need to help him.
Yeah.
Get
collect his thoughts.
Yeah.
Can I cast guidance on him?
Ooh,
yeah. I'm just sort of like giving a quick pat on the back and like, it's fine. I didn't realize it was this bad. Like Sprocket's now kind of taking the situation too, realizing how bad it was.
Well,
but he is currently my only contact.
Got rid of the fish bowl. Like we took that away.
Oh yeah. The big one's gone. This is the only one that we're left with. And a pile of treasure, I think.
So you're casting guidance. I think it's gonna be, he's gonna need to make an intelligence save or wisdom save. Like it's basically he's suffering from fear, right? So it'd be a wisdom save to avoid.
So I actually just learned this. Guidance doesn't help on saves. There's another spell. Resistance
bless.
does. No, it's resistance. A spell I forget exists in the game.
Bless.
Yeah, you
bless
can.
help.
I think bless works on attacks and saves. Yeah, you can guidance him and bless him.
Guidance is for checks. But either way, I'd like to cast guidance on him just to like try.
Oh, you know what?
We have
a picture of. I don't know if I've shared this. Let's stick it. So this is him outside of his costume. That's what it looks like.
Where is he?
Pickaxe and all.
Yeah.
Where is he?
He's in the Roll20 chat.
Oh, sorry. Like I'm looking in the wrong place. Okay. Hold on.
So
picture him pale white, just scared.
He's a gnome. So what is the gnome racial ability again? Sprocket, you get advantage against certain on saves.
Int, Wiz, and Charisma against magic.
Okay, it's not magic. Gotcha. Yeah.
I'm a rock gnome, I think.
So he's gonna make a wisdom save, and you are blessing him +1.
Yeah. Middle
Yeah,
one.
with an 11, like it takes you a while, but he's able to calm down, and he says that.
No, it's fine. He didn't see me, I don't think. I was invisible for most of the time. I kind of blacked out immediately afterwards, but I think it was a clean getaway.
Allie, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say I have protection from good and evil also, which protects people from certain things, but the target can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by anything. So I don't know if that would help.
No, this isn't really like he's not actually frightened. It's just he's having. I'm just modeling it like that because he's having a panic attack. So Flutterfoot, like you calm him down. You get a little something in his stomach. The kids have gotten quiet now because like when Daddy's scared, like that means things are bad.
I feel like tension has fallen over the whole room. Even the bear is taking alert.
Dapple, Nico, John Lynn, Claria, like they're kind of all observing now. And he points to Silgar and he says, that is the one thing in the universe that Xanathar loves more than himself. And you may not know what a beholder is, but there is nothing they love more than themselves. And you took it away from him.
Wait, he loves himself? The fish is himself?
No, he loves it more than himself. The
So,
fish.
Alu, give me with your rat baby. Give me, if you're like trying to remember, we can model this as divine guidance. Both Sprocket and Alu can give me an Arcana check representing like now that you've seen Xanathar, you know what he's about. You might like have done a little lore searching, especially you were in Blackstaff's tower. Well, this will represent like if you did any digging on what a beholder is.
Cool, yeah. Fun fact for metagame knowledge, that's Silgar.
That so many times?
He's on the cover of one of the books, Xanathar's Guide to Everything.
Yeah. Oh,
He's a big deal.
Can you show it again? But can you unblur your background because when it pops up, it can't detect your face, so it just blurs everything.
I'm digging into Discord, but that was a nat 20 for a total of 28.
Nice.
Awesome. So yeah, while we're gonna take a picture, a look. Oh yeah, well so there is, you see the big blue guy, that is Xanathar, and then that fish is what's in Sprocket's hands right now. Yeah.
I feel like for us discussing Silgar a while ago and you being like, yeah, he loves it so much, but the Xanathar, like, his guild just, like, when it dies or whatever, they replace it.
Yes.
He doesn't know they do that, though.
You don't know this in character, but out of character, every time Silgar... There have been many Silgars, and they replace him. But this time, Xanathar witnessed someone take him. So they can't, like, just be like, oh, here's another fit. Like, oh, we got Silgar back. Like, now, especially with how paranoid he is, it's bad. So, Alu, you did some reading in the tower. You know a little bit about beholders. They are aberrations, monstrous creatures. They are essentially from another plane of existence. You know that they are xenophobic isolationists. They basically, beholders are convinced that other creatures resent them for how amazing they are. And they are kind of essentially ultra racists, where they believe that they are the only thing that matters, or supreme narcissists. They are the only thing in the universe that matters and is real, and everything else doesn't matter and is lesser than them. For someone to say that a beholder cares about something more than it cares about itself is like a huge concession on the beholder's like psychology. Sprocket, you know all that. You also know like you learn about some of the things, like a lot about the Beholder lair. Now, some of the things that were happening in the in Xanathar's headquarters like make more sense now. Like there was a period when you were working down there, and a big chunk of the ground became like super slimy, difficult terrain. Like that's just something Beholders can do in their lair. They have these eyes that can open up in the lair and shoot like random lasers. They about their like specific abilities. They have their big central eye, which functions as an anti-magic cone. When they're looking at something, you can't use magic items or cast spells or anything. Then they have 10 eyes around it, and each of them does a different ray. That's where you learn about what you witnessed. Like you saw a death ray in action, you saw a disintegration ray in action, those sorts of rays.
I'm explaining all these different rays and everything I know about Beholders to the group, while Flutterfoot is just sort of hyperventilating next to me. Like, I saw a guy get disintegrated. He blasted through a whole wall, and like several guys. I think he melted the ground.
Yeah, it's nuts. Xanathar himself is not a spellcaster. Beholder's Xanathar's not a spellcaster, but with your 28, I'd like to think that Sprocket, like knowing the name Xanathar, he kind of went back and cross-referenced all the Xanathars throughout history, and he learned a couple things about Xanathar specifically. One, Xanathar is a name, but it's also like a title. So there have been multiple Xanathars, and Beholders hate each other as much as they hate everyone else. So it seems like what you're putting together with that 28 is a new Beholder can be created when a Beholder dreams. Whatever a Beholder dreams about becomes real. And if it dreams about another Beholder, that's how new Beholders are born. If a Beholder has killed the previous Xanathar, it just becomes the new one. There's always a Beholder named Xanathar in charge of the guild, but it's not necessarily the same one. You kind of figure that out by reading between the lines of some historical accounts. This current Xanathar is paranoid, a megalomaniac, all those things. But he also seems to be patient and scheming. So you think that you're not like, he's not going to come up here immediately and kill everyone. His priority is to get Silgar back safely. He's going to work to that end and make sure that happens versus like immediate revenge. So you might have a little bit of time, but you also, with that 28, I think you realize that the resources he has available, yes, you swapped out the fish tanks, but you brought this fish tank back here in the first place. So he has absolutely, I mean, like the odds that he didn't have someone cast Locate Object to learn that the Silgar is in the Troll Skull Manor are astronomically small.
Uh-oh.
Awesome.
Astronomically small. Let's see what happened exactly. Oh yeah, he 100% knows. Yeah,
he knows
knows.
exactly.
I was like, if I fucking roll a 1, maybe he hasn't done it yet.
Oh, all the eights for all the eyes.
I'll be like, well, okay, now I'm also terrified. What? Are you interested in one last job of helping me get this back to him? Because now you are kind of an accessory to this too, and
Oh God,
he knows it, you know.
Are you threatening him?
No, I'm just stating facts.
Give me an intimidation check with disadvantage.
Okay.
It's a bad idea.
How low can you go? No, I'm not trying to threaten him. I think I'm just talking about it. But we'll.
I feel like Ollie would be like, okay, what are your suggestions on getting rid of Silgar and getting it back to Xanathar without ridiculous amounts of carnage?
First to Sprocket, he responds, he's like, oh, holy shit, dude, I don't know, man. I can't do that. I got kids, man. I got a family.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I feel horrible immediately.
When Alu, when you talk about alternatives, he says, well, don't get rid of Silgar. That would be bad. If he confirms that you had Silgar and then you don't have Silgar, That's like revenge time. That's vengeance time.
Sounds about right.
He's like, I don't know. Maybe if you know any contacts, you can try and get Silgar back to him. He's like, I mean, it's gonna be bad, but maybe if you know someone, and it can't be me. He doesn't know that I did anything, and that's why we're getting out of town. But, I don't know. I don't know.
I look at Alu. Do we know anyone in Xanathar's guild?
We might. We may, Rabbit. We may. Alu's wheels are spinning. So she's gonna first be like, here, Flutterfoot, don't worry. We are going to hold on to the fish. We're gonna get you guys out of here ASAP. We'll get in touch with our contacts and have you moved somewhere far away. And so we can move you to your permanent new home. So she's going to get on top of that immediately.
If you are, because you still have your notes and clues and things.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you are looking for a point of contact, there is someone who, you remember you went down the candy shop and you did a raid and you found a note. You hit the hideout at the same time as like essentially a drow special ops team. And they had a guy on the inside that was helping him out. You actually killed that dude. Holly Reese disguised herself as him.
Oh, yeah.
But his contact within the drow is working, is essentially a double agent working for the drow, but has embedded himself as a spy in Xanathar's guild. You, I believe, killed Nazca Urgray, the Dwargar enforcer, but you met a couple people. One that you would know from your notes, and one that Sprocket could confirm he had seen, is Gnarl Zabrindus. I believe that name you should have from a previous communication. So there was it happened at the same time, so you kind of got in the way of it. But there was supposed to be a distraction with black powder that had been planted. And I believe you learned that Gnarl Zabrindus, he works for the Drow, but he's in the Xanathar's guild as a double agent, and he's the one that helped set up that scheme. So as a Drow, Xanathar is going to be super suspicious of him. I think you've put enough pieces together that you could say that, if he was able to claim that he brought
heal and return it,
yeah, then that might get him back in the good graces.
All right, we're gonna follow that up, Sprocket.
Well, do you think this guy would be amenable for a deal? Because, I mean, this is kind of a big deal we have. I don't want to just throw it away.
It would.
We don't want to hold on to this, so we want to give this back to Xanathar ASAP. So anything that we can do to get rid of it and make sure our asses aren't on the line is important. And I think that we can spin it. Well, you can't spin it. I can spin it in such a way that this person's going to want to help us because it helps him.
I was going to ask Wilhelm for a little bit of advice, or if he wanted to help broker the deal.
Definitely involve Wilhelm because he's sneaky.
Yeah, he hasn't been a part of the adventure in a while. He kind of hangs back.
It's so weird. It's like he's definitely an adventurer, but he just stopped doing it for some reason.
Seems like y'all were tight, and then I showed up and he left, so I felt kind of guilty kicking him out,
Yeah. He keeps taking baths. I don't know. Is he depressed? Should we have him see someone? That's the last session of this campaign is an intervention for Wilhelm. At some point, he's gonna stop wearing pants and he's just tighty whities in a bathrobe, just eating mac and cheese out of Tupperware. Yeah,
yeah.
Weird.
He's Fat Thor.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's Fat Thor.
So if you get back and you report this, obviously Rolan, Fen, and Holly are close enough that you can get caught up on this discussion. Wilhelm is gonna give some advice, and he says, look, if you want to make contact with the Drow, there's one among you that is best suited for that?
Me and Fen.
One among you.
Fen.
This is
There you go. It's one of those moments where Wilhelm's like, Alu, I know you want to help, but
Fen finally can speak Drow because Alu taught him.
Yeah.
Alu's gonna be like, he only knows how to speak Drow because of me.
yeah, this is bullshit.
Exactly, this is bullshit. Exactly how Alu feels.
But yeah, I mean, Fen, you out of the group, I think you've been the most hesitant to make connections with your faction that reached out to you, the Bregendarth. But this is an opportunity to perhaps leverage some of that. I'm curious, since we got to do Alu and Sprocket's reactions in real time, what are Holly, Rolan, and Fen's reactions to like learning the significance of this fish?
Yeah, Rolan.
Holly reads is like, we should have never kept the fish, and I think Ollie Kazarathis should eat it. I think it needs to be a little snacky snack.
No.
And you all got mad at me
killed
for
this
bringing a
fish and-
dragon home.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, look how the tides have turned. Ollie's not looking so bad now, is he? No, we gotta deal with this fucking fish.
If anything, this just proves that we don't bring pets back with us. So no.
We all get
Point
one.
not made.
You see, as soon as Roland says that, Reggie was coming down the stairs all shiny, and he, like, you see his little spider head just drop, and he slowly walks back up the stairs.
Yeah.
Oh,
Holly reads is like, God damn it, Roland.
it feels bad.
Reggie, you're not a pet. You're one of us. You're not.
You're an asset.
Yeah,
Roland's
what she
just
said.
an
She says
ass.
you're an ass hat.
Roland's an ass hat.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's so good.
We need to get rid of this damn fish.
Fen's on it.
So
Well, that's
If we don't, even our imaginary friends will be killed.
ideally, like, best perfect world, what would we do? Put it back? Like,
Yeah, what
what do we think would
the
work
plan?
best here?
Well,
There could be
here's
a-
what I'm thinking. The Xanathar has an amazing workshop and mechanical facilities and people working for him. I would love to get my hands on some of that mechanitry. If I can say, like, hey, I'll give you your fish if you give me your workshop, done.
So,
Do it
I
today.
guess, does Xanathar know that we physically took his fish?
He does now.
He
Probably knows we have it right now.
at one point.
It was a clean getaway, y'all. It was cool dope if you only saw it.
I
That's
guess
true.
what
'Cause
I
he
was
couldn't see Sprocket. He doesn't know Sprocket took it.
what I was trying to determine was if he thinks it's just lost or
No.
missing, and we've happened to find it.
He saw Sprocket was invisible, but he picked the fishbowl up. So Xanathar saw the fishbowl disappear, and then he saw a portal open, and his big fishbowl disappeared.
He doesn't
through
know
the
which
portal.
one of us stole it, so he'll just kill us all to make sure he gets that person.
Yeah, and he
Okay,
does know
okay.
now that Silgar was last located in this building because of
let me ask-
locate object.
So he knows who
Alright.
took it. He knows it was taken. He knows who took it.
He knows who has it.
Okay. So returning it isn't like the question is, if we return it, will all be forgiven, or is there gonna be like a vengeance thing and it'll fuck us up anyway? Like, what do we think? Is there reason I'm asking that is because is there any utility to doing that, or are we just like gonna have a fight no matter what?
Well, I actually have a little bit of assurance for that, and like I kind of set the Silgar on a table, and I take Spindle off and set Spindle on it, and it kind of curls up on the side and starts glowing in little iridescent blue. If things get hairy, it goes boom. I learned a lot from Hallister, and there's power in magic, and there's power in thoughts of magic, and I can cast a spell, and the fish should be gone.
Because like at this point, I feel like the trying to scheme about this may be rendered moot if he just knows who took it anyway. He knows it's gone. He knows who has it. And, like...
I don't think we should scheme. Scheming has gotten
Right.
this party nowhere.
Well, I just don't see how it helps us at all, since, like, we would have to somehow convince him that it wasn't us, and that it was never taken in the first place, or something like that. So, like, hiding it isn't great because he knows it's us, and then he thinks that we hid it, and he never gets back, so he's going to punish us for that.
Ben,
What?
Yeah.
I apologize for interrupting. I have an idea.
Yeah. Shoot.
I have a spell that I could learn called Feign Death, and we could initiate a scene where Silgar,
but keep going.
whatever, the fucking fish gets rescued, but it looks like we all die, quote unquote.
they died saving Silgar.
Again, like, that makes more sense to me right now, given the context, than like returning it. I don't.
If
see
we
how that
do
helps.
that, we need to hook up our friend who was gonna get killed and make him look like he's the hero and save Silgar. That way, maybe he doesn't die.
Yeah.
Because they were gonna kill him anyway, right?
Gnarl Zabrindis.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm hoping he just wants this thing back and well enough he's willing to pay a price for it.
Or just like, will he just be happy enough
Is
to
there-
have
I
it
think
back,
that's
though,
a
'cause-
good idea. You've caused enough trouble, Sprocket.
I'd say Sprocket,
I'm making way for solutions.
You got a 28 on the Arcana check. So if you're weighing these options, I think Sprocket, you'd recognize that with the Beholder's personality, he'd want some, like, you taking Silgar and then essentially holding him hostage, or, that's probably not like, oh, he's gonna let it go once he gets him back. There would like, he'd probably still keep coming after you. Plus,
price to pay.
He doesn't 100% know, but he might also go ahead and pin the theft of the Eye of Golorr on you all, since you stole his fish. Like, he might just be like, oh, you guys did everything. He doesn't know. He knows it's missing. He knows there were some drow there. So, yeah, this idea of faking your deaths is pretty insane, but he's not going to seek revenge on a bunch of dead people.
Until he realizes that we're alive, so we can't do anything else in the world of any note.
Well, okay, what about this? If dealing with Xanathar directly is dumb and dangerous, what if we try to bargain it to Gnarl? Because he wants to be in good with grace with Xanathar, kind of like explore that plan a little more, of like, because then it'd be worth a lot to him to say, like, oh, okay, he looked great for saving it, and he could say he killed us.
Yeah, like, if that's something you want to, like, propose to him, like, yeah, it would get him some brownie points. I think you could absolutely do something like that.
To my
Yeah,
mind,
but
there's
when
only
it
two
turns
options.
out we're not dead, that still isn't helpful.
I guess he
think
knows
that-
Silgar is here. He doesn't necessarily know that you are the ones that took him. If another group of 5 people was out on the street and publicly declaring, we took Silgar and then died, if you had ways of, like, disguising yourselves or something like that, just, like, throw an option. Or it doesn't even have to be 5 people. If someone, if you're looking at all the tools in your tool belt.
It could just be someone who is drinking at our pub.
Yeah,
I do
it could be
think
someone
that
stay.
someone drinking at our pub is the most likely option. I do like the fact that Holly Reese can potentially make this person look dead without us murdering anyone.
So he doesn't actually know it was us.
Right, because he never saw... Sprocket was invisible the whole time. He just knows that it was missing, so they can't replace Silgar, and he knows that Silgar was taken. He knows that for a fact, and he knows that Silgar has been here for a fact.
I mean,
those are the 2 things he knows.
We could do something as simple as, like, I don't know, one of us poses like a masked thief that we, like, take out in the street, and we, like,
Pin it on the Black
we
Viper.
stage like a pickpocket, right? Like a guy in a hood, like rips off a lady's purse, and we are do-gooders, and we stop him and get the purse, but he gets away. Well, we find, this thing is in the purse, and we give it back to the guy.
I do think that Holly has a great idea. I think that, Alu has had a disguise. I can look like anyone. We can take pictures of this person in the bar with this fish, being like, I stole this fish from Xanathar, taking pictures, like when the bar is really full, and then make this person disappear. Keep the fish here, because it's probably better to return the fish.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. If we give it to Gnarl, he could bridge a lot of those gaps for us, and he could say whatever he wants about any vengeance story, and then we can get something from Gnarl and saying like, hey, this is worth a lot to you. Because this is it's a very dangerous piece we have in play, but it's also a very valuable piece.
The other thing is,
I think that we also shouldn't let him know. Like, we shouldn't arrange it. We should somehow.
Well, the fact that he doesn't know it's us puts back on the table the prospect of just returning it without him knowing that we returned it.
Well, if Xanathar just gets it on his doorstep, he's still gonna, I think, probably want to go for some revenge. It seems.
But if he doesn't know it's us, who cares?
Yeah, especially if we.
He may not know it's you, but
he does know it's the
with
people
his
who
personality,
live
he
here.
might like nuke
Just
this
burn down the
building.
tavern.
Yeah.
But to die, cough cough, Rolan, we could do this, easy peasy.
Yeah. I, Roland, took Silgar. I'm dead.
Rolls it onto his doorstep.
Hello, my name is Shmolin G. Toro.
Yeah.
So is this like a flatliners strategy here?
Visiting from the country.
I'd like to talk to Gnarl if we can get in contact with him.
Do we have any more of those revives left?
I feel like one of the
Yeah.
things that we should do is Alu should turn. Well, I forgot his name off the top of my head. I know that it's on our sheet of what the things we know about our world and things we've done, the master sheet. But Davil is one side of Zentarum,
Yes.
and the other dude is the other faction. Alu can be that other guy with her hat of disguise because she knows what he looks like.
Do you know what he looks like?
Alu's been there, so she does know what he looks like. She doesn't know him personally, but she knows who he is.
When have you seen him?
I don't know. It was a while ago. I don't know that it was like a.
If you're talking about the leader, so I want to make sure we're not mixing things up. If you're talking about the leader of the Zentarum, you haven't.
Not the leader of the Zentarum, like the leader of the split. Like you've got Davil's side and the other dude who they have different interests. So neither of
Urstel
them.
Floxen.
Yeah.
He's dead. You killed him.
Oh, we did.
Yeah. That was in the Growlhound Villa when the Zents came in and attacked. He was one of the people that you butchered over there.
I remember that. Darn. Okay. I was like, maybe we could take out two birds with one stone. Who else do we not like and would like to see dead? Because Alu can be that person, and that person could
kill them.
Win.
Or are we trying to actually kill someone?
I'm not saying that we should actually kill them. I'm saying Alu should pose as that person with Silgar, saying that she's, this person stole Silgar, and then we can plant the fish somewhere that this person lives. Be done with it, and Xanathar can kill him themselves.
Well, it seems like it's a whole lot of extra narrative.
I think you've had a lot of time to discuss a plan. I think let's hone in on a group consensus. It sounds like you got a ton of options. What, do you all want to have a vote, or what? How do you want to decide what you're going to do?
I personally, as an agent of chaos, like the frame job idea. Of
My frame job idea?
Enemies. Yeah, planting it on one of our enemies. I kind of like that. Because fuck them.
Two birds, one stone.
The Holly Reese, you have access to, if you want to. You said you don't have the Feign Death spell in your spell book right now, right?
I just added it.
It would take you 6 hours to learn it, and 150 gold pieces for the special ink you need to copy a spell down. If you have
do we have one of those revive IOUs left?
You used up all of those, but Holly Reese has a specific spell that mimics death without killing you.
Done. 150 gold removed.
All right, so we'll say, because it sounds like it's going to take that long anyway, you all spend like 6 hours debating what you're going to do. Holly bunks off to the library, learns the spell while you're debating. After 6 hours of rigorous debate, I assume you all stuck to like a standard debate format. What's the? It sounds like you want to try and frame someone.
Yeah, because my argument is we could get something monetary or something to help us out instead of just pestering one of our enemies, and hoping that it all sort of falls into place outside of our sphere.
Yeah,
because like this would get Nilard indebted to us.
I mean, I think we can do both my plan and your plan at the same time, because if they're having drinks at our establishment and boasting about it, and we can prove it with Alu's Hat of Disguise, you can also then basically steal the fish and return it to Xanathar and be like, we figured that you might blame us for this. We would prefer to just nip this in the bud, but that is really risky, and I don't think it's a good idea, but...
Yeah, because I think that's why Nilar could kind of help bridge that gap for us.
Maybe.
we can give Silgar to Nilar to go kill one of our enemies for us.
I think, I mean, it could work. Again, as a drow, you'd probably need to make that point of contact through the Brigandarth organization. But if is that what the group's kind of leaning towards?
I mean, that sounds
Here's
like...
the thing, guys. Fen looks like a drow. He can now speak it. He also has what I think, hang on, -1 charisma.
I'll give you guidance.
0 intelligence. He's not like the most skilled when it comes to like
Deception.
Yeah, deception. Like he can be stealthy.
Like we still have a huge leverage point on our side that this guy wants this.
Yeah,
Right.
you say leverage, but really it's not leverage. It's a death sentence.
It's really he's motivated to come after us. It's not leverage. He's not afraid of us. He's mad.
I don't want to fight if we don't have to fight.
I think as the
It's a good
party
thing not
is
to-
pondering this over, now is a perfect time to call this a session. And we'll come back at the beginning of the next one, and the question of the day will be, what is your character's vote? And we'll come to a group decision that way. Thanks everybody for playing with us. We're back. Obviously, we never left from your perspective, but we've hopped right into the skillet, and I could not be more excited. Bye everybody. See you next time.
Bye.